Hi everyone, today is the 3rd of December and Blender 3.0 has just been released. Unfortunately, True Terrain is not supporting Blender 3.0 as of now, but I think in a couple of weeks we will see a new release. So until then, for this follow along video about scattering and asset management, we are sticking with 2.9.3. So to get quickly into the whole asset scattering topic and how or which workflow I use and what modifiers and why and how they work, I already created a simple landscape. It is based on an end landscape canyon, I believe. Set up a standard Nishita sky texture with the exposure set to -3 over here. This consists only of two textures: ground, grassland brown rock with viewport resolution 2, LOD activated with 4K in rendering, and then a cliff from the desert pack, desert brown rock 6, 2K, 4K. Okay, so let's start with adding some trees over here. So we just move over our asset, tab and click on the trees that come with True Terrain Ultimate, and we have these trees as a choice, or trees we have imported ourselves. There is a video I made on how to do that. I will link that at the end of this video. Some of you might ask why they don't see those height scopes in their icons. Easily explained. I just measured them and just put some text on the original icons in the True Terrain asset folder. So it helps me to remember that these trees have these real world scale. So let's go with, I don't know, like deserty, I don't know, I like ash trees. So let's just add them, and as you can see already there's a lot of them, and they're not very 3D but more or less images as plane, which is great, because if that kind of volume would come in with a 3D mesh, your system would definitely have a spike in low performance. So what we're going to do is we're going to solid shading, and the first thing we're going to do is decrease the amount of trees over there. That didn't do very much, but you know what, let's go to our modifier and just apply my favorite and most important modifier, which is the camera mask. Just click on the camera mask and pick the camera you use for your scene. I only have one camera available or in the scene, so you can already see only within my camera window assets are going to be scattered, not only displayed but scattered. The next thing I'm going to do is tell, because trees are now growing everywhere, so I'm telling True Terrain with the slope mask, which is actually a mask that defines the angle of your mesh and where assets should be scattered. So with a slope factor of 0, I'm telling True Terrain only to scatter on the flattest of surfaces compared to the ground, compared to the horizon. So this actually already looks okay. We can increase this for a little bit more diversity, so 0.2 looks good to me. And going back to scatter, minimum to 0, which just increases the density again, and then we can play with the distribution seed where we want our trees to be. So something like this. However, I don't want the trees in here on the lowest point, so we're going back to the modifiers and put the third modifier in here, which would be the height mask. So when we take a look at our terrain, it's like 300 and something across and 66 meters high. So what we're doing is telling the scatter system that the maximum height is of course 66 meters. If we want trees to be everywhere, it doesn't matter how much I go over there because there is no terrain there, but I don't want trees on the utmost top over here, so this should be something like, yeah, 57 looks fine. And as I said, I don't want the trees on the lowest point, so I'm increasing the minimum height carefully until I'm happy with the result. So what I did is I told True Terrain or the scattering system that it's only got a certain scope or a band where between those two values, 6.6 meters and 56 meters, it's allowed to put assets on. We've got the slope mask on and we have the camera mask on. This is actually good enough for me. Again, artistic choice, you play with the distribution seed as much as you want. I think that looks fine. That gives us space to do whatever we want in here. Now we could actually go into the asset setting and keep the planes or these proxies or whatever in our viewpoint, click on the scatter quality proxy and say the render quality should be medium, high or ultra. For this kind of scene where we want to see the trees in 3D, but not every detail on every leaf, medium is more than enough. And so let's do a quick test if this is actually working. So Control B, I'm sort of cropping the rendered view. So this is how it looks right now in rendered view, and now give this a quick render, or at least let's hope it's a quick render, and see if the render system is actually transferring those trees into the 3D meshes in medium quality. I mean, it looks like it did. Looks good to me. So that's what we have here. Right. Okay, that works. However, I'm not going to keep this kind of setting on, so I'm deactivating that and actually go to the medium setting myself. Shouldn't have done that because I wanted to show you something, but I can't do this again, so go back to low, because what I want is to change the appearance of the trees a little bit, and well, yeah, there we go. And you do that in the shader tab, and with those planes or flat images, your options are limited. It's into translucency, hue, saturation and lightness. However, if I'm going to medium, hope this works again as it did before. Yeah, it did. We have more options available. We have an overall option, and then we could go to the leaves as well. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to change the amount of green to something more brownish, orangey. However, the select line, the outline, the orange line, makes it a little bit difficult to see what we're doing. So there's a great feature in True Terrain over here, outline selected, just click that, and although it's still selected, it's not visible anymore. So what I'm going to do is I will change the seasons to like 0.6, and we should see a change of colors in here, and we do age random of 0.5, so we get some randomness, some randomness as well. And if you think these are really poor looking trees and not very full, please be aware that you have this value here, particle display amount of 15%, meaning that you only see 15% of what will be rendered. Again, a cool feature which helps us to lower the vertices amount and help with working in the viewport shader. So let's go back to solid view and open this up again, and we can do another, go back to the scatter. We can play with the distribution seed, we can play with the object seed. What does object seed do? Within a pack or an asset pack of true terrain for ash trees, there are actually 2, 3, 4, even 5 different sorts of ash trees within one pack. And by clicking through the object seed, these objects will be randomly exchanged, so you can get exactly the trees, or you can get very nice results in here. However, so object seed is fine. Let's play with the distribution seed a little bit more, because this seems very empty to me now. So let's go to, I don't know, you can put any number in here, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's go with this, doesn't matter. And we're good with the trees, we can always go back, but for now we're going to disable the viewport visibility, because right now with everything in the scene we've got 500,000 faces, which already slows down my system a little bit, and now we're back to 25k, which is just the amount of the terrain itself. Just trees in such landscape is very unusual, so what we're going to do is the second way we can apply or make sure the assets land where we want them to. Just double check, camera to view is not activated. So what we're going to do with the grass is we're going to tell the scattering system exactly where we want these to be, and not using any modifiers. And what we're going to do is, again, select outline, select it again. We are going to weight paint, and let's just make some markers in here, like so, maybe here and over there, and then we can actually say we want grass only to be here. You don't have to be extremely precise about that, but everywhere you are red, you will see that the assets are going to be. This is a technique you all know from the particle systems, which we usually use something like this, maybe here as well, and this ridge as well. Okay, when we've done that, we can go back to object mode. We can double check, yes, a vertex group has been created. So, excuse me, so we're going to grass, pick a grass we like. I'm a fan of the Great Brom over here. So we're adding this. Again, you will see, even if I'm increasing this to 2, and grass needs a lot, it's all over the place, not big enough, it's not in the right place, so we can do exactly the same thing with the modifiers. But right now we've got to use our weight paint, our vertex group. So here in the density map, I'm clicking in here and just selecting my group, and bingo, I have the grass only where I've painted it. So the only thing we need to do now is increase the amount to something like 5, and because this grass is so small, and this is actually a pretty big landscape, we need to cheat a little bit on the scaling. So we do a minimum of 1 and a maximum scale of 2.5, something like that. Probably not really realistic, but you will see when we take a look now at the rendered view that it's not as visible as we have it in here. So let's take a look, and that's exactly what I meant. So that's good enough for me. What is important, what we can do is like increase this to 8 and go down to, no, that's okay. Let's leave that, make a double check, yeah, and then we're going to the shader, where we've got a couple of mainly color related options. Outline selected, off, and let's take a look what these settings do. Natural green variant, it makes it a little bit more yellowy, or a little bit fresher even. So I'm reducing that. If I'm increasing the variance, the freshness, I'm going to ooh, that's not fresh at all, but something like so. Age, like this, HU, we can play with that. Color value, specularity, loosen the AO usually makes it darker as well, something like this. However, it's still a little bit underwhelming from the visual amount, so you know what, let's go to viewport display 0.5, so only half of all the assets are shown, but increase this to 12. Let's see, yeah, that could be good. So let's deactivate that as well and do a quick cropped render of this section, and let's see how this looks. We're almost finished of what I wanted to show you as a quick overview of my modifiers and or how you can place your assets in a scene. We will now do some rocks as well, but before that we're going to check if this looks vaguely nice, and you know what, it does. We don't have any sub D modifier on the mesh, so it's super blocky, but it still looks very nice. We've got the grass in here, so that's fine. So what we're going to do now is go to rocks, pick one of many rocks. Let's go with let's take the white rocks, add them, and you can see outline selected. There they are. Again, I'm working here with 0 min distance, and I'm going to work with modifiers just for the exercise. Camera mask on, slope definitely 0. Don't need height, I just need a little bit more of them. Let's go to 5 here. And I want them to be a little bit bigger, so start with minimum scale of 1 and then incrementally increase the amount of scale over here and play with the distribution seed like so. And this should actually be it. So we can remove those as well and do a full render. It's on very low samples, so and very low resolution. But for demonstration purposes it should suffice. Let's see. Yeah, I can see the grass, I can see our white rocks scattered in here, and obviously the trees. And the great thing is you can put different assets in there. You can put additional trees in there, you can make additional vertex groups and put other trees that complement the ones you've already got in there. You've got your modifiers to actually place them where exactly you want, or you can weight paint them in. So this looks fine, quickly done as well. So I can't but help, because I'm in love with this new add-on from the guys from True VDB. I'm going to put a cloud in there. Spoiled for choice. Let's just take this one. Will be in here in a second. Where are you? Cloud, here they go. Select objects. Move this up. Let's go down a bit like so. Could scale it now. Let's make it like this over there. Rotate it like so. That's fine. And what we're going to do as well is to go into the shader and enable adaptive subdivision, which should give us, so let's see, that was our first render. Let's see what the next one is giving us. It will probably take a little bit more time, but the result should be nicer. So let's see. Again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I really encourage you to join the Discord server. I hang around there a lot, even during work, but sometimes some questions are really easy to answer, and the developers of True VDB are online constantly and are super friendly and eager to help every customer with any issue they might have. So that's definitely the place to go if you have some serious issues. If you think there is something I can do to help you with some of the tutorials, or you have special requests on what you want me to do or demonstrate next, just let me know. Happy to do it. Something I do happily, because it's a hobby of mine. So hope you liked that, found something that is of use to you, and hope you have fun with Blender 3.0 as well. Thanks for watching.